I'm going to put a link in the description box below to a video done by Efraim Pavlov. I've been following his teachings on and off because the Jewish insight is so valuable, and specifically in this video, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Exactly what they mean. Extracted out of the Old Testament, and I know that the blindness in both the Christians and the Jews is definitely from our Creator, because the Christians are obsessed with the book of Revelation, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, yet they weren't able to distract it out of the Old Testament. And then the Jews are able to extract it out of the Old Testament. However, Mr. Efraim Pavlov, I hope I say his name correctly, he tells the story of a rabbi who he meets the Messiah at the gates of Rome, and he says, "Messiah, when are you returning?" And the answer is, "Today." And so the rabbi runs home and he gets all ready to go, and nothing happens. And he goes and he asks, why did nothing happen? Why did he lie to me? He didn't lie to you. You were not obedient, and so he could not come in the manner that they're expecting. And he even uses the name Yeshua as a title rather than the name of the Messiah. So they are expecting Yeshua as a Messiah, and he has come to Jewish people, and they're not connecting the dots that their Messiah Yeshua had already been come today. And that is to have all of these words to come out of a Jewish man's mouth, and yet he's not connecting the dots, is just profound, and is definitely by our Creator. So now we are coming to an end of the age of grace. So all that ignorance falls under the age of grace. So all of that's forgiven. The Christians don't have it wrong so much there. However, when the age of grace is over, that's when accountability for observing the Torah comes in. And so that's why so many are being called out of Christendom to observe the Torah, and so many Jews are suddenly accepting Yeshua as their Messiah. So there's an incoming, an influx from both sides in preparation. So he will prepare first those who are going to be the first ones called. And so that's why there's such intensity and focus on the Torah and others who still have yet to accept the Messiah at this time. It's just a really, really exciting time to be alive. And I'm still trying to figure out where I play into all of this, because I was shown, I had an experience. I was looking for a restoration of my blessings, and it was represented by my horse when I was growing up, named Shalimar. And I perceived that blessing, the blessing of, I grew up in upper middle class, so we had money, we had horses, we had, all kinds of stuff. But my friend, she walked up the driveway with me after school one day, and she was crying. And I was like, "Why are you crying?" And she said, because you have everything. And I don't have all these things. And I looked at her crying, but your mother loves you. And so it makes sense to me that on some level, my soul would have swapped. Whatever you want to call it. Fortune, karma, whatever. I would have swapped with her just to have the experience of a loving mom. I mean, her mother used to take her to get her hair done. My mother, she brushed my hair. She'd tell me how disgusting I was the whole time. Her mother took her to get her nails done. Her mother required that they help with the laundry every day, that they had responsibilities and chores, and they went to church faithfully. They took it far more seriously than my family did. And so she knew how to take care of herself. I wasn't taught how to do laundry. I wasn't taught how to cook. I wasn't taught any practical skills, whatever. I was supposed to go to the Olympics and get my parents' glory in gymnastics. And when I refused to continue with that, then I excelled on horseback, and it was the greatest joy of my life. And they wanted me to start learning dressage, and again, win them prestige in the Olympics for that. And I didn't want to be away for somebody else to get prestige who couldn't even love and respect me. If they loved and respected me in a way I could recognize, then maybe I would have pursued those goals for them. However, that wasn't the case. And so if I had switched fortunes with somebody who wanted it more than I did, I probably would have done that when I was that age. So I come to the female power figure, and she's got like a tiger or leopard on each side. And now I come to understand that this is the Whore of Babylon, because I'm coming to her and I'm asking if she will help me regain what I had lost, because the time was up. The contract was for a specific time, and that time was up. And then in the next scene, I'm shown like a tent thing, like a canvas canopy. And now I'm connecting a tabernacle. And inside the tabernacle were horses of any and every color. Spotted horses, everything. Even multicolored spotted horses. It was weird. I was like, clown show. But it was conveyed to me that the Lord of the dance had collected horses before he died for his people to come and ride. So he had already gathered together a whole selection of horses. And so if you follow the link to the video below, you will see what those horses represent. And it was really weird, because when you hear Lord of the Dance, typically the Irish folk dancers with the little taps on their shoes, very moving show. But that was, in mainstream society, the Lord of the Dance would normally refer to that. But the image that was presented to me as the Lord of the Dance was Patrick Swayze. Like, the Lord of the Dance is representing himself with, dirty dancing. For me, because when I asked for my creation story, it began, in the beginning was the dance. And so for me, the Lord of the Dance is my creator, and that he has shown me a tabernacle full of every kind of horse. And I'm still wondering, like, oh, I get to choose one of these horses? And then I remember another experience where the hand of Elohim came down from heaven, and it had a picture of a white horse offering it to me. Like, initially it was like held behind the back, like, I got a surprise for you, and shows me a picture of a white horse. And I'm half asleep, I'm all dreamer. I'm like, well, I don't really want a picture of a horse. I'd kind of really like a real horse. And so then my attention was drawn to down below, like a herd of brown horses went running by. And he said, choose any one of those that you wish. And I'm like, what did I half asleep commit to as far as horses and spirits, Oh my goodness. So I'm praying clarification comes, which I'm sure it will. So lots to pack in there. The video. Get out of it what you can. And anything else, of course, cast aside. Just like absolutely anything. Like one example, when I was going through my heathen phase, where I was pursuing, scripture says, if you want to know about the Creator, look to the earth. And so I looked to people who knew about earth spirits and spirituality. I thought Torah observance was not for me. Like, I thought, I'm not Jewish. I have no right to even begin to, that's not an option for me. So I'm looking elsewhere. But I had read this book, Braiding Sweetgrass. And at the end of it, it talks about their language, their native language, and how they'll say tree and lake and river and ocean now. However, like in their language, if they're going to exactly word for word translate it, it's not lake. It's being lake. It's not river. It's being river. It's not tree. It's being a tree. Who or what is being a tree? Well, of course, it's Elohim. Because in the beginning, there was nothing but our Creator. And so our Creator had to take a portion of themselves in order to create in this gap within that our Creator had to make for us to exist as separate entities, as separate beings. And so it was just lost to their tradition exactly what was being a tree. So it is the spirit of Elohim that is sent forth into our world to become a tree, a river, a lake, a stream, and us. So when it comes to language and it comes to traditions, like I explained in my last video, the temple of Seti or Seth, was the temple built by Seth. Adam and Eve's son Seth built the temple to our Creator, the one true God, one true Elohim, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob. That very same one, but with the power, and he was known as a son of Elohim. He's of the order of Melchizedek, it came to be called. And so he was called the son of Elohim, what you would say a son of God. And so that's where that tradition amongst the pharaohs came into being, is because they assumed they took over the authority and the title of such ones as Seth, and it's just throughout the world. They were kings, and they had power and authority beyond what is natural for the rest of us. And so they were worshipped as gods, as deities themselves, once the tradition faded around them or enemies came and took things over. And so you look to all these traditions and these languages, and you see evidence of our Creator and the truth of the gospel in every single one of them, in some way, shape, or form. I'm full of joy and exploring constantly. There's just so much to learn, and it just brings such delight to my soul. And so that's why I share it. So to recap, we're at the end of the age of grace. So, are you saved by faith? Your faith saves you until you have the knowledge. If somebody approaches you with Torah observance right now, and you say, no, I refuse to accept that, you're taking a back seat when it comes to the kingdom, and how much forgiveness you will receive once the truth is presented to you, that's, I can't say. And it's the same thing for the Jewish people. When evidence is presented to them of the Messiah, are they going to accept it, or are they not? Because the age of grace is coming to an end. Everyone will be given knowledge now, and everyone will be held responsible for the knowledge that they're exposed to, whether or not they accept it or refuse it. And those of us who are starting to practice now will have an opportunity to catch up to the natural, the ones with the Hebrew DNA. We will be able to catch up tradition-wise, because neck and neck, those coming out of Christendom and those coming out of Judaism are both going to be observing Torah in the manner that they understand. But the legalistic Torah, corrupted with teachings of the Kabbalah and the Talmud and, their Mishnahs and everything else, those are imperfect. And Christendom's way of observing it is also imperfect. So they will both be disciplined equally and become one nation under Elohim. And not over here in the States of the United. Corruption. And I think about it too. There's going to be a class brought to New Jerusalem. However, we are going to... Oh, I gotta turn the burner off. So we're neck and neck, both going to get discipline made into one nation. But we're going to have satellite cities. We might get our training in New Jerusalem, but eventually we're going to be serving all over the world. And it's just absolutely delightful that so much understanding is still yet to come. So much experiences. Oh, and another thing that came to me was, it just went out the door. I hate that. Understandings. But to be fair, some understandings that I have received, I've been plainly told, steal it, don't share it. So, that must have been one of them. I do apologize. I got snatched away just like that. So, again, recapping. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which is just like Wormwood, the star called Wormwood. Now, if you watch the video that I linked below, he'll talk about how the 4 horsemen, they are not associated with hardship and bad things happening to you unless you're in need of discipline. And it was the same thing. That was my perception of the star Wormwood. Wormwood is a anti-parasitic. It will kill off parasites. Demons are parasites. And so if the remedy comes that destroys the parasites in us, well, we're going to be happy. But when it comes, it will kill some people. They will die because the parasites are too latched onto them. They will die with the parasite. Their body can't sustain itself. It's basically the parasite running their brains. Just like that one that gets into the mice, so that the mice seek the cats, and then the cats eat the mice, and then that parasite has a more intelligent brain to navigate, and then they can rub up against human beings, so that parasite can get into human beings. Sometimes it'll kill a fetus if a woman is pregnant. And so it will attach and it will influence your thinking to things that are bad for you, just like it does the mouse. It's bad for the mouse to want to look for and be close to the cat. And it's the same thing with demons. That's how they work. So wormwood is medicine, or it's deadly. The four horsemen of the apocalypse, they're medicine or they're deadly. So we accept the discipline, or we resist it and we do it to our detriment and possibly to our death. Absolutely a lot of information. The light's getting so bright. I'm loving it. The timelines, everything clicking together. And I hope this helps you become encouraged as well.